I'm back. Still fucking feel like I swallowed shards of glass, but that's only the real main problem. That, my coughing, which makes it worse, but I noticed on my Facebook memories what it was. But if you've been following this channel for 2 years, at least, you know all about the Uziel saga. And especially around March. But for those who don't know, you're welcomed to come to my channel, check out my late night rant and ramble playlist. It'll be in the Devil Woman saga, but just look for the ones in March. God, that hurts. But for those who don't want to waste their time, because I can understand that. I can understand. Because there's a lot of videos. I'm going to be summing up everything in this video. Because this video is a retrospective, if you will. And I've probably already said that. But I'm just going to get this out of the way now, after I answer this. Answer that. Okay. I'm just going to get this out of the way. This video consists of supernatural entities and unexplainable phenomenon. Demons, mostly. You don't have to believe me. And it's okay if you don't. I'm not going to beg you. I'm not going to force you. You could take this video with a grain of salt. And that's fine. That's your right. But to me, in the experiences that I've went through, are just as flesh and blood as you or I. Now, again, this is just my experiences. You don't have to believe me at all. You can call me crazy. You know, when you step back and look at it, it does seem asinine and inane, but I'm being authentic here. I'm being 100% authentic. And this is just a part of my life that I've experienced. And the gods only know. I wish I didn't. Hold on one second. Okay. Now that I got that shard out of my throat. Shall we continue? So, this little retrospective starts on March 6th, 2016. That was a Sunday. I had awakened that day with one goal in mind: to find my goddamn Athame. What turned out to be a simple, quick run-through turned to, let's move everything out of the shed that I'm just going to throw away to find the damn thing. And it happened. My roommate was happy and mad at the same time. because he wanted to turn the shed into an office. But at the cost of there being a shit ton of garbage. Shit that I'm not going to use. You know, shit that was going to get thrown away or left behind anyway. Needless to say, I found my athame. It was a reunification made in the heavens. And I was happy. But that night going into Monday, it's when the cracks in the relationship with Uziel was becoming apparent. At the time, Mr. Cox, Uziel's cousin-in-law, because he married her cousin, that's how we introduced, said, ask her about this guy, Ratface. And I'm like, okay. So I say, hey, what's going on here? I was told to ask about him, and then it's like, shady shit. And I'm like, okay. See, if Mr. Cox hadn't planted that in my mind, none of this would have happened. I didn't care about Ratface at all. Not in the least. I was ignorantly oblivious. But when he did, that set a course for everything to fall apart. The next day, kind of worried, I gave myself some tarot readings. As my buddy Ian said, it's not giving me the answers that I want because I'm putting my bias on it. I'm wanting the cards to tell me. Well, considering that no one else was to give me one in the area, you know. So, I look at that, and I'm like, something is definitely wrong here. Putting way too much emphasis on everything. But I didn't care. And later that night, that's when everything fell apart. March 7th, 2016, on a Monday. That's when she fucking broke my heart. And, I went on a downward spiral. And it hurt. One relationship was dying. Another one was being built, but just completely collapsed. So, I got it both ways. March 8th. I sat outside. It was a nice, beautiful day. I tried to do a video outside. Just was not having it at all. And we went out for Chinese food. I got a little message from my little fortune cookie. It said, "A message is waiting for you." Now, in my heartbrokenness, I decided to consult my Ouija board to see what it said. And I was greeted with a Thet, my possessing demon, who predated the spider demon by a couple of years. 2008 to be exact. Ironically, in March 18th. In fact, I'll look that up. Because I try to be precise. I like to be precise. So I try to be accurate the best I can. Conflict. Was it the 21st or was it the 14th? Huh. Possibly the 28th. I was way off. It was not March 14th, because that's my girlfriend's birthday. So it wasn't that. It was either the 21st or the 28th. So I was watching Caprica on Sci-Fi Friday night. And then went to the bathroom, came back, bam, blacked out. So that was a liar. That was just a dickhead. That's all I'm going to say. I can do a separate video on him, but he was a dickhead. But he died, and his spirit came around with the Ouija board. Now, I'm taking this with a grain of salt, okay? But I wouldn't put it past him to do something like that. So, I'm like, okay. He's like, you just got shit on. You just got played. I got something for you. Revenge. And I'm like, okay. And he gave me the reasons why. Now, he was a liar. He said she was playing Renzel, Ratface. Well, that was completely wrong. Like I said, he was a liar. So I'm like, but at the time I believed it. I'm like, okay. Alright. Yeah, I'll do it. And guess who crawled out of the woodwork? My spider demon. Literally. Because he's a spider. Or was a spider. Who stole my spirit animal form. And, He's like, hey, I can help you. And I'm like, you're a bloodthirsty maniac. You've done a lot of terrible things. And then his counter was like, basically saying, but I can help you grow magically. And I'm like, okay, you got a deal. He was pleased. That was pleased. I was pleased. March 12th, Friday. And I hate to say it, but that was the day that I was either letting the bad Chinese food from the Chinese buffet that we visited on the 8th. And goddamn itchy mouth. You know, the roof of your tongue, or the roof in your mouth. The roof of your mouth itches right before you sneeze. So, it was either the bad Chinese food that finally caught up to me, or it was the spider demon giving me a reminder. Because the way he works was immediate. The way I work is not very well, which I need to work on, to be honest. But so it was one of those two, probably both. I don't know. But what extreme painful diarrhea all goddamn day. I couldn't even blink without going to the bathroom. And about 5 o'clock or so Friday, I'm at a period where I'm like, okay, I can relax. So, I'm watching YouTube. Everybody else is doing stuff. I'm like, what can I do? Because I found the name that I want to do to carry out my revenge. But, I'm like, So, I'm about to email Priest of the Necro. I'm about to email him. I'm about to embarrass myself. Because he made a little rant video a couple months back talking about, you know, it's cool to ask him questions, but it's not cool to be lazy and not watch his videos where the answer you probably have, or the question you probably have, is answered in. Yeah, I almost made that mistake. Spider Demon's like, boy, it's right there, right in front of you. And I'm like, and I watch it. And sure enough, it was the right video. Now, I had seen it previously, but I had forgotten. There was a time where I watched all his videos in one night. It was pretty cool, actually. I don't get to do that very often with a lot of subscriptions. Anyway, I digress. I found the video, and he went over the name that I was going to call on. And I'm like, awesome. So I went from about to embarrassing myself to knowledge acquired. And Spider Demon's like, and I'm like, you're still a horrible person, but, and then he just crawled in his little web that he hides in, and probably going like this. Interesting to note that that particular video, it helped with my pronunciation a lot. So if you go back to my Necronomicon playlist on video 2, which is pronunciation, you can thank him for that. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't have a grasp on it before, but I've only worked with a few, and they were easy to pronounce names. Ziku, a Saruludu, a Gilma. Barashakushu was probably like the hardest one to pronounce out of those. So you can thank Priest of the Necro for that video. Because his video going over the names and how he pronounced the word, you know, that pretty much just is the catalyst for my whole pronunciation thing. Now, before I go back in, we do have a slight issue on how we say Marduk, but you know, tomato. And as I said in the video covering, you know, names 1 through 10, I'm probably never gonna call on Marduk, like ever, just because, you know, his wrath if you waste his time. So I'm not gonna waste his time and suffer his wrath and, you know, pretty much lose the ability to communicate with the others. So, nope. But back on track. Just a little side note. I give credit where credit is due, and I give thanks where thanks is due. And that was a big, very big help at that time. So I start forming a plan. And then I say something about on March 12th. I forget what it was, but that's what reminded me of everything. It's what reminded me to do this video, despite my sounding like garbage. And then I saw another one today, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did say that. I had said something about everything's coming together so quickly. It's alarming. I have even picked out the perfect day. The Ides of March. Perfect, yes? No? That's right. I set a date for when I was going to do my spell. March 15th. The Ides of March. And if you are older than 30, or actually if you're 30 and up, You goddamn well know what Beware the Ides of March means. I don't know if that sounded weird, but March. Beware the Ides of March. Now, for you people younger than 30, who probably don't even know because, you know, education in this country sucks assholes. The Ides of March is a day where Julius Caesar was stabbed in the back by his best friend Brutus. Et tu, Brutus? I believe that translates to and you, Brutus. Basically, you too. A perfect day for someone who played me like a fool for money because I was too naive and stupid to see it. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to sit well. So March 15th comes. That sounded weird. I apologize if you heard that. The hour of 3 drew near. I took myself to the garage, which was basically outside, because my garage door is missing its bottom half because of these stupid dogs. And there we go. It's a little bit better. Anyway. So, practically outside. This was the first time I got to use my athame. My dagger as an athame. And let me tell you, it was pretty fucking fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. Excuse me. French fries make me burp. So, pretty fucking fantastic. I called upon Sugrim. He came. He answered my prayer. I had my cell phone that I wasn't using with Uziel's picture on it to help me focus. And the ritual wrapped up. And as soon as I walked out that door, such wonderful, wonderful noises in the night. Forces beyond human comprehension. I know what you're thinking. Well, it's spring, and it's fucking, you know, dark, nocturnal animals. Yes. But the occasional possum is just that. Occasional. We don't get raccoons. We don't get coyotes. Because for some reason, Indiana has coyotes, and I don't know why. And, so, I've only ever seen a possum in this area like 3 times in my life. Twice in the last 2 years. Well, actually, twice in the last 3 years. And once way back when my grandpa was still alive and in decent health. So we're talking early 90s, like 93. And went a rabbit because it was dark enough that I could see, or it was light enough that I could still see. You know how it is when it's a cloudy skies at night? Like the light reflecting off the city illuminates the clouds just a little bit, and you can see. Or like how, you know, when it's snowing, it's like almost like daylight outside. Yeah, it was illuminated. So that's how I knew my spell was successful. You got to pay attention to nature. You have to pay attention to nature. This is what brings confirmation to your work. The book, it says, ignore anything that comes to you during ritual. The energy that you're putting out, calling upon this name, this deity, this power, attracts other things. And you got to be careful about that too. You have to be mindful. But at the same time, these are your signs that it worked, that you successfully called upon. Insert whoever here. For me, it was Sue Green. The phantom in the night that scurried away as soon as I opened that door. There was nothing there. It was light enough to see it. There was nothing there. Not to mention the air was kind of odd. Like, you know, something was there. These are your signs. Nature is your sign too. Pay attention to your surroundings after ritual. And I'm like, great. March 16th, did it again. Same thing. This time, I was a little bit more exhausted. Sorry, March 17th? I don't know. We're going to find out on March 17th. Because it was around this time that I was doing rituals 3 times to 2 times. Now, if you're a practitioner of the Necronomicon, the Simon edition, you will know that you can do 3 consecutive nights in a row on 1 sigil for 1 goal. If you have a new goal for that sigil, you have to make a new one. But you can do 1 goal on 1 sigil 3 nights in a row. And that's the maximum you can do. The minimum is 1. Now, I can't remember if I did 3 or not. But I do remember 2. Because I got the same thing that happened on the 15th. So, we're going to find out. I'll let you know in the late night rant ramble. But, so I, went ahead and relaxed. Let Sugrim do his job. Now, the spell is way over, so I can tell you what it was. Sugrim has a clause in his description. Where he will not kill if the priest does not want it. Now, this was a horrible mistake on my behalf. A very horrible mistake. But at the time, how was I supposed to know? So I asked Sugrim to humanely give Uziel the next best thing. Extreme and horrid nightmares. To make her come crawling back to apologize. So I can give her das Boot. I know that means the boat in German. It's kind of funny when you think about it. Giving her the boot. Oh, that was horrible mistake number 1. So, a week later, on a Saturday, I was chilling with my roommate, homeboy. He was watching Legends of Tomorrow, eating Chinese takeout. I get a message, messenger, and it's Uziel. I'm like, and I'm like, okay. She's apologizing, saying she's sorry and all this, that and the other. Sorry about that. So, I'm like, it worked. It really worked. My second attempt at a revenge spell worked. In 11 days, mind you. 11 days. Now, like I said, knowing what I know now, she may be pretty, but she's goddamn ugly, with all the blackness and hatred in her heart. And I'm like, yeah. The spider demon was pleased. He was ecstatic. But we'll get to him in a little bit. Things, like always, seem brand new. And then it just turns into shit real quick. You think I would have got the message, but I didn't. So, now this is the part where Phase 2 starts. Now, Phase 2 started in after the 15th, but before see here. Back to 2016. So let's see, the spell worked on the 26th. So somewhere between the 16th and the 23rd. Phase 2 began, which was my undoing. What had happened was that in this time, her best friend, Bella, messaged me out of nowhere. I mean, we were still friends. I mean, we were Facebook friends, but she messaged me and said, Uziel needs your help. And I'm thinking to myself, why should I help her? And she pleaded her sob story and all that, and I'm like, you know what? This is gonna come at a price. I'll give you the money, but it's gonna come with a it's gonna come with a price. So I sent the money. A day or two later, the money's still at the Western Union in the Philippines. I'm like, okay. I thought this was for an emergency. So I bit the bullet and I asked Uziel to, what the hell's going on? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, your friend Bella said that you needed money for your medicine, for your anemia. It's like, I never said that. Ho ho ho. Oh. And she was like, unfriend her. And I'm like, oh. You do not know the wrath you have brought upon yourself, Bella. I was so pissed off that I literally stopped what I was doing, went into my garage, picked up my baseball bat, and I started hitting whatever I could find. And then I got so pissed off, I threw the baseball bat on the other side of the garage. True story. My roommate's like, how did this get here? And I'm like, oh, pissed me off. The fact that she would throw her friend underneath the bus, is a sad story to get one on me. 2, the fact that I fell for it. Still don't know which is worse, but it happened. And that's when phase 2 started coming in. Now, I'm not going to tell you the details of all of it, but there was a binding spell. And I'm not gonna say that, no, I'm not gonna say that, this, that, or the other. I mean, it's pretty fucking obvious. Considering that I've asked my brothers at the Black Tower how to unbind somebody, but bind them. And I said, I'm asking for a friend. which we all fucking know that's code for anytime anybody says that, it's them. People aren't that stupid. But, then if you know me, I like to be funny. I see the humor in things. But I will say that there was a binding spell, and that was my undoing. But, that was horrible mistake number 2. But this goes into April. We're not about April. We're about March. So, now I know what you're thinking. What became of the spider demon? He was happy, you said. Was that it? Was that all? Yes. No. And no. And yes. Actually, just yes and no. Yes, he was happy. But no, that wasn't the last of him. You see, when I summoned him, in this very room, no doubt, there was a mirror, and you can see it on some of my older videos. There was a mirror on the back of my door that he came through when I called Suri. When he came through that mirror, because it's the only possible way, he took my mirror image, my mirror self, on top of his own being, hightailed it to 1917 South Gladstone Avenue, which you can watch in the Demon's House in my Demons playlist. It's got the spider on it with King Diamond's face. He went from here to that house, reformed, reborn into this world, with everything my mirror opposite has of this me. If you're good here, it is my belief you're the opposite. Mirror opposite. What do you think that entails? If you're bad here, you're good there. You're always going to be the opposite of what you are. Now, the mere fact that my mirror opposite is bad and evil says a lot about me here, considering the fact that I don't think I'm good at all. I really don't. But I guess I'm just an asshole with a heart of gold that just happens to be black. And he took a lot of things from me. He took my spirit animal, which is the spider. My totem animal is a spider. And for you Snow Whites out there, I have every right to say it, because my bloodline from my mother's father's side is Comanche and Apache. So you can fuck off with that. Cultural appropriation bullshit. I know my bloodline. Do you? So he took those. He took my mannerisms, my traits, my love for the theatrics and the dramatic. He even took my sense of humor. Oddly enough. But if I want to be real with you guys, the one thing that annoys me, or annoyed me, to no end, and he took it from me. And I don't know why, out of all the things that he took from me, that one just aggravates me so goddamn much. But at the same time, I mean, I know why. Because it's tainted. I'm a big stickler for manners. Okay? I will call somebody out if they're being rude. I got it from watching Vampire Hunter D, like way back in the 90s. There was a scene where one of the villains was like, "Put your tongue back in your mouth. It's bad manners." And that stuck with me. The mentality of that stuck with me. And the fact that he took that from me, soiled it, just aggravates me. I mean, I should be actually pretty fucking happy. A demon going around saying, you know, that's bad manners. You know? But it just annoyed me, and I don't know, and it's so stupid. It's just so fucking stupid. But he also did one more thing. He gave us a link. A psychic link. That's right. He gave us a psychic link. I got the Sprint plan. He got the AT&T plan. And if you know Sprint, their coverage sucks. He got a lot more out of it than I did. Ooh, what did I get? A psychic link, and I could feel him when he was about to make a move. He got the works. He could feel what I could feel. He knew what I knew. We were shared. Except for he got the better end of the deal than I did. But, and there's a point to this. He had a modus operandi the whole entire time. Why he was so adamant on me doing the spell. There's a reason for that. Why he was so happy. Same reason. And that reason was he fed on my anger. He fed on my hatred. He just fed on my emotions. Whether it be happy or sad, didn't matter. He fed on it all. The spider demon? He fed on my anger. It gave him a boost so he can do the things that he wanted to do. I was his blood bag, basically. And there was many times that he would set up things to get me angry on purpose. Of course, it was too late when I figured it all out. But you know what? Granted, bad things happened after that. But when it came to Uziel, I'm kind of torn. Yes, he used me for my anger to do his evil deeds. But at the same time, he helped me. He helped me grow magically. He helped me get to where I am today. Sure, the Black Tower, Priest of the Necro, and Joshua Free. I'm not gonna forget him. Even though he runs things differently. You know. Each of them have taught me. You know, they've helped me grow. And I appreciate that. I really do. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. But the morbid side of this, Spider Demon is a lot of things. The shit that he put me through. The shit he's put others through. The shit he has done. The people he's made mad at me because of his mere existence. You know, I have to live with, and it can never be undone. But even though all of that, he helped me. He helped me in the right direction. He stopped being a demon and became a daemon. Just for a brief moment. He told me where to go. He told me what to look up. Even though I handled it wrong. But like I said, 2016 me, I mean, I'm still naive. I still fall for it. I mean, granted, you know, I haven't given her anything in a long time. I'm not saying that I'm using my aunt's sickness as a cover, but I will say that, you know, her being sick has, you know, affected my mood just a lot. And I think I'm more outspoken here than I am anywhere else. But I digress. He helped me. And despite him being a fucking asshole of epic proportions, I'm grateful for that one brief moment where he actually became something just a little bit better than what he was. So, if that doesn't make sense, I guess I could say that, you know, I'll just say, even though I was being used by him as well, for his own ill-gotten gains, he stopped being an asshole for 5 minutes, and actually said, hey, that's the video you need to watch. So stop what you're doing, stop making yourself look like an asshole, and watch that video. That's the one you need. And then he crawled away, sat in his little web and watched. So it's kind of a double-edged sword on that one. But I am grateful for that. Weird, I know. Unholy, probably. But, in the end result, I gained knowledge. And kind of pointless, because I would have, you know, used it on him. But he was a magical genius anyway, so he probably would have countered anything I would have done. Which is funny, because I can go into a whole thing about that. But, other than my brothers in arms, I do thank the spider demon as well. Which is a lot of ashes in my mouth, but for one brief moment, you know, he helped me out. And it wasn't just pointing me to the right video either. He was helping me stay motivated. And that would play a big part in April. Because all I'm going to say about this right now in April, if I said it in this video, I'm sorry. Because this is like the 8th time I've done this video tonight. And my throat feels all bloody and broken. And this coughing ain't helping. But when you work, especially with the Necronomicon, when you work with the 50 names, you are obligated to work with that entity, that power, when you get that little idea in your head. Like Phase 2. Phase 2 went through 3 drafts. And then one Sunday night, because it was, God, I don't even remember, but it was mid-April. I'll tell you that much. And nothing came about. Because Phase 2, like I said, started at the end of March, going into April. And here it is, mid-April. Sugrim pays me a little visit in my dreams. 2 dreams in a row. Graphic, violent, and very bloody. I know what you're thinking. Well, that could have been a regular nightmare. No. These dreams had a weird energy to it. They weren't normal. They weren't influenced. Because they say the last thing you think about before you go to bed is what you dream about. Wasn't influenced. These dreams were odd and out of place. And I asked my girlfriend, who is a practitioner herself. She gave me a stern talking to about it, and that's how I know, and that's how I'm telling you. She said that when you put an idea of what you want, and then you pick the name that carries it out best suitedly, you are obligated to see it through all the way. It is the equivalent to going to somebody's house with a package for them. Knocking on their door and just standing there, not saying a goddamn thing. Just standing there with their package and nothing. Which you are obligated by law to hand this person their package. Because tampering with the mail is a felony. So, just one second.